I wouldn't call myself a capital G gamer. I played a lot of JRPGs and beat 'em ups back in my day as a way of escape from the mundane world I lived in. But where gaming got me hooked was in the fighting games, and the series that I became weirdly obsessive with was with Mortal Kombat. I remember my friend having the Mortal Kombat Trilogy on the original PlayStation and spending lots of nights staying over at his house just beating the shit out of each other and going on the internet and finding all the secrets that the game had. From fatalities, animalities, babalities, and the secret character, Chameleon. I remember borrowing Deception from one of my friends and telling my mom, yeah, it's rated M, but you can turn the blood off, and playing that for hours, and then waiting for my mom to go to bed so I could turn the blood back on and be the edgy preteen I was. When Mortal Kombat Armageddon came out, I spent damn near every day after school playing everything that game had. Hell, in college, I'd force my friends to play Mortal Kombat XL all the time. What always fascinated me the most about Mortal Kombat, though, was the media outside of the video games. Mortal Kombat in the 90s was weird. It was being scrutinized for being too violent, so the media that came out in the 90s about Mortal Kombat mirrored that opinion. We all remember the 1995 live-action Mortal Kombat movie, and when I was younger, I thought it was so awesome. But rewatching it as an adult, it just felt kind of meh. I get it, it was the 90s or whatever. The effects weren't that good and the acting was subpar. But the problem wasn't that at all. It was how it felt like a generic action movie of that era. And the less we say about Annihilation, the better. There was also media like the cartoons Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm and Mortal Kombat The Journey Begins trying to lean towards children and lost the charm of Mortal Kombat. And that was the violence, blood, and intense gore. And although entertaining, mostly because of how comical it was, that they thought turning karate ninja men into G.I. Joe knockoffs would work to try to sell toys. But hey, when it's combat time, it's
combat time! Combat time! Combat time! Combat time! Combat time! Combat!
Then there was WB's Mortal Kombat Conquest, with a C and not a K. I'm sorry, it's just that they missed the mark on that title. But that came out in the late 90s as a subpar karate, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Monster of the Week style of storytelling. And then after that, Mortal Kombat TV went silent. That is, until 2010, when Mortal Kombat Rebirth came out. This was a short film meant to sell Warner Brothers on a more realistic vibe. Because the Dark Knight happened or whatever? I think the fights were cool in it, but I wasn't a huge fan of the film. I feel if there is one series realism doesn't really work in, it's Mortal Kombat. But I know nothing because it became a viral success and ended up becoming this machinima series called Mortal Kombat Legacy. It kind of backtracked on the dark gritty realism, but kept the intense violence. But it was also a subpar show. It felt like it was made on a film student budget for the most part, and it wasted money on flashy, unneeded CGI that looked really janky. Oh, and Casper Van Dien. But why am I talking about this? Video games turned television or movies around this time all seemed subpar at best. Well, in 2015, James Wan, best known for the Saw franchise and the Conjuring universe, was set to produce a new live-action film. But silence after 2016 felt like there was no hope for this movie. That is, until 2019, when they told us the script was ready and they hired actors like The Rage's Joe Talsum and Power Rangers' Ludi Lin, and it was set to release on January 2021. The big selling point for me is that it would be a hard R, with fatalities, blood, violence, and sticking more to the story. I have been hyped ever since because of the popular and positive impact of movies and shows like Castlevania, Detective Pikachu, and Sonic the Hedgehog. But there was one film that said, "Hold my beer, bro, I got this." There was a Mortal Kombat media that was coming out that was going to do fatalities and show you the bloodfest we all have been waiting for. And that was Mortal Kombat Legends: Scorpion's Revenge. Scorpion's Revenge is a new retelling of the origins of the Spirit of Rage and Vengeance Scorpion, originally known as Hanzo Hasashi, while also trying to tell the story of the first Mortal Kombat tournament. I say try because the problem with this film is the film's title doesn't really match the plot of the film. It's hard to tell what is the A plot of the story and what's the B plot of the story. Scorpion is supposed to be your main character, and for the first 10-ish minutes, he is. His backstory is fleshed out the most. His growth from ninja warrior to vengeful specter to anti-hero is shown through the movie. But it feels like a mess and it doesn't flow right with the story. That's because it feels like Scorpion's revenge is shifted to the B-plot, and the story of Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, and Sonya Blade fighting in the tournament takes center stage as the A-plot. When we are first introduced to the trio of heroes, it is brief, making them the side characters, and it shapes the Mortal Kombat tournament as the B-plot. But what happens is, when the tournament begins, it feels like it shifts to the A-plot, and it is rare to see Scorpion, only popping in and out with angry monologues about where is Sub-Zero. Scorpion is technically in most of the movie, but takes a back seat for the middle of it, losing a chance for character development, which leads to a rushed climax that doesn't feel like there is any payoffs. But people have rated it on IMDb as an average movie. Most of the positive scores come from the age groups of 18 to 44, which makes sense because Mortal Kombat is an almost 30-year franchise, so it has a wide age demographic. Even with my complaints, I absolutely enjoyed the hell out of this movie. Please don't get me wrong, after watching this, there are a lot of problems in this film, but what they got right was excellent. I think the story, even though a mess, feels very Mortal Kombat. The revenge and rivalry story of Sub-Zero and Scorpion is different, but it raises the stakes a little bit more, making it feel a tad bit personal. Scorpion's plot feels a lot like it was from a Shaw Brothers Kung Fu film, as Scorpion is going on a bloody rampage, murdering the people who are linked to the killing of his family and his clan. I like how the trio of heroes, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, and Sonya Blade, feel very real as well. As Liu is the only one taking it seriously, Sonya only has a one-track military mind, and Johnny has no idea what is going on. Johnny is essentially the avatar of this bizarre world, where the fate of the Earth is all on the line from some karate tournament. They have a stellar voice cast in this film. The voice actors who deserve the highest praise would be Joel McHale and Patrick Seitz. Patrick Seitz was the voice of Scorpion in the previous Mortal Kombat games, but unfortunately was replaced in Mortal Kombat 11. Just like in the games, Patrick Seitz's voice work really brings the personality to the character. Scorpion could have easily been voiced as a generic angry man set out for revenge, but instead, you get a sense of sadness in his anger, and a man who's lost everything with only one goal in mind. Joel McHale is amazing as Johnny Cage. Someone with his comedic pedigree brings a real-life feel of Hollywood douchebag who wants nothing more but to bring his career back, and also not understanding that these monsters, Magic Island, and death matches are for real. If there's a voice actor I could bring up is Steve Blum, who voices Sub-Zero in the games as well as this movie. He does an adequate job with the role, but the biggest complaint I have is more of a nitpick. Yes, he does play Sub-Zero, but he's voicing the older brother of the one he voices in the game. So it would be nice to maybe have a bit of a different voice fluctuation to make them sound a little different. I also find the character designs to be amazing. Besides the generic mercenaries they fight near the end of the film, the extras that are demons and monsters all seem very unique. The main character designs fit their personality, like Liu Kang wearing a martial arts gi, giving him a more stoic feel. It sucks not to see Johnny Cage in his fighting costume, but the tailored suit fits his I'm a big action star role. Some would say Sonya looks like a generic army lady, but to be fair, she's literally supposed to be in the military. Like, they're supposed to be in uniform like that. Plus, everything is better than her design for Mortal Kombat 9. My favorite design comes from Scorpion. He sports a design from Mortal Kombat X, but the thing that makes it work is what you see of his face. A lot of designs of Scorpion gives him a human-like face. In Scorpion's Revenge, they give him something that looks like a skull with skin, which visually makes more sense when he finally takes his mask off to show his flaming skull. But the reason that makes this movie worth watching is the high-octane action scenes, the blood, and the gore. Where they don't skip on the animation is when they have to portray action, as well as being able to show some of the most iconic moves, like Liu Kang's bicycle kick, Johnny Cage's nutcracker, and Scorpion's get over here spear. My favorite fight is between Hanzo and 1,000 Demons. It moves so nice and gracefully, and it feels like the fight is like a dance. Like I said in the beginning of this essay, a lot of media outside of the video games really skimped on the blood and gore, and this has a lot. Some are extremely laughable, like this scene, to being hardcore scenes like this, where you can see the flesh and bones of the characters after the carnage, In 2010, Mortal Kombat implemented a feature in their games called an X-ray move, where you get hit so hard it goes black, and you can see an X-ray of the character's bones breaking. They are able to use the X-ray scenes to convey a deep impact. Just like in the games, it kind of doesn't make sense because there isn't much of a change of a before and after. There's no mangled face or huge holes in chests. The only time an impact is left is with Goro vs. Jax and Scorpion skewering the mercenaries. I know for the first half of the essay, I talked about the history of Mortal Kombat cartoons and movies, as well as my dislike for this film. But I felt I had to get it out of the way so I could tell you what makes this film so entertaining to me. And it's because I love Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat isn't some deep story, even though some people try to make it that. I love Mortal Kombat because it's like playing some teenager's edgy cyborg karate fanfiction. I know it's been a month since this movie came out, but this video is going to be coming out during the release of Mortal Kombat Aftermath, so I thought it was the best time to talk about it. Mortal Kombat is important to me. I still shamelessly go through the wikis and read random articles about the lore. If you're not a fan of the franchise, this movie isn't for you, and I think the people who made this understood. What this movie does is give me hope for the upcoming live action film, because this feels like a taste of what we can get. I hope they keep making more animated films, and the ending hinted that they would, because Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge is a beautiful mess of a film, and I hope to see more of them. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you made it to the credits, I'm still going to try to make at least one video essay once a month. If you would like to support me on Patreon, the link is down below. But just a simple like, subscribe, and share is good enough. As always, stay awesome, keep on keeping on, and whatever you're going through, you've got this.